Okay, so real quick, our itinerary, and by the way, if you're curious, that's me on the right. That was 1 year ago today, everybody. That was for our medical careers in action, and I was getting a fake appendectomy. But for today, we're here about energy, construction, and utilities. We're going to start off right now, obviously, with this welcome. And then I will turn it over to your moderator, Tammy Tran, to talk to the college panelists. Then we are very excited to have a guest speaker. Miriam Farnbauer is here to talk to you for just a few minutes. Then John Caffrey, who is the Regional Director for Employee Engagement, will give us a Regional Director update on the individual sectors and industries. And then we will go into the breakouts when everyone will go into their industry, into the individual sectors that we have identified to talk about trends, skills, and everything else that's going on. And then finally, we'll come back into the main room and we'll wrap it up with any questions and answers. So without further ado, I would like to turn it over to Tammy Tran, who will talk to our college panelists. Tammy, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, everybody. Everybody can hear me well? Great, great. Just introducing myself very quickly. My name is Tammy Tran. I've grown up all my life in Orange County, and I'm very excited to be part of today's panel. I currently work as a senior manager for local public affairs at Southern California Edison. So it's an honor for me to moderate today's college panel. We have several speakers here with us, including John Caffrey, Jonathan Keller, Oscar Ortiz, and GP Lee. So what I'm going to do is ask all of you to introduce yourself, introduce your name, the name of the college that you're coming in, zooming in today with, and just a brief background about how long you've worked in this industry or in this particular occupation. So why don't we start with Oscar? Is Oscar on the line? Or let's start with John.
Hello, everybody. John Caffrey. I'm the Regional Director for Energy, Construction, and Utilities of Employer Engagement for the region for Orange County. I am hosted out of Saddleback College, and I've been in this role for a year now. I started 2 weeks before the pandemic had us all exit from our beloved campuses. So I haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to get around and see all of you, but I look forward to that in the near future. I've been in education since 2010.
Great, thank you, John. And then just going from my right to my left, JP Lee with UCI.
Hi, good afternoon to everyone. It is a great pleasure to be here. I want to thank the invitation to participate in this event. My name is GP Lee. GP stands for good person, so easy to remember. and the college is UC Irvine. And currently, I have been with the UC Irvine for more than 32 years. My department is in electrical engineering and computer science, as well as in material manufacturing and biomedicals. I'm currently directing several major institutes within UC Irvine. One is California Institute for Telecommunication and Information Technology. The second one is California Plug-Load Research Center. Everything is about energy efficiency in those are low plug into the outlets. And also we have the major clean room facility prototyping support the industry ecosystem in manufacturing the microelectronics, MEMS, and so on.
Thank you very much, GP, and I'll definitely remember you as a very good person. Miriam, are you representing the Orange Coast College or?
That would be me, Oscar Ortiz.
Oh, okay, Oscar. Okay,
yeah. For some reason, I wasn't able to get through immediately, but yeah, basically, I'm Oscar Ortiz. I'm the full-time construction professor at Orange Coast College. This will be my 13th year as a full-time construction professor. I've been in the industry well over 30 some odd years. And so we have a very, very well-rounded construction program at OCC. Teach a lot of building code classes, management classes, and a very large number of hands-on courses, framing, plumbing, concrete, masonry, etc.
Okay. Thank you, Oscar. You know, since you're the last one to come on board, I'm going to ask you the first question.
Sure.
And it is, what courses or certifications are offered at your college that are related to energy utilities, construction, and manufacturing? And this is a question for everybody. We'll start with Oscar.
Okay, well, I guess I'm going to give you a couple. Anyway, our electrical program, we are certified by the state as an electrical training facility. So we have a residential electrical course where the students can come take the class, and then they are ready. They qualify for the electrical installer certification. Some of you guys might realize this, but in the past, it used to be that, if you're an electrical contractor, you can just go ahead and hire employees. They work under your license and everything is great. But electrical being as critical as it is, now the individual employees, we'll call them installers, actually have to have some sort of certification. And that is what we provide here at Orange Coast College, among others.
All right. Thank you, Oscar. GP, what about you at UCI? What does UCI have to offer?
So UCI offer many courses in different discipline, and we usually don't have a certificate program for the state program, but do have extension program, continuing education. They offer those are short courses. And for the coursework, one area is really about the IoT, embedded system for energy. And in manufacturing area, we have many courses depending on what industry you are interested in. And it's really focusing on material property and how you can use a manufacturing tool to construct the prototype. So those are typical courses we offer, but it's in the range from bachelor degree all the way to PhD. So, and we are thinking about working with a community college to really embrace in a way to bring your student in and to learn hands-on experience in manufacturing, in improving the energy efficiency for all the devices they're using.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Jonathan? Or John?
Certainly. So as a regional director, I don't really speak for one college, but I speak for all the colleges in Orange County. And there are a plethora of courses out there and programs like HVAC programs at Cypress and some of our other colleges, building automation programs, robotics, PLC, industrial mechanics, which OCC has, IVC has that as well. Robotics is at Saddleback College. We've got electrical programs, construction across the board, as Oscar was talking about. Water resources and management is another Saddleback program. And then we have a water technician program at Santiago College, which is very mature and has many graduates every year. I think they graduated somewhere around 500. It was amazing, the numbers they've been putting out. But they do water distribution, wastewater management, and water treatment technicians. And that's just kind of scratching the surface. Where our region's very rich, and if you throw in LA as well, very rich in the energy, construction, and utilities realm.
John, thanks for sharing that number, 500 students going through that particular program. My next question for you, John, is what is your student success rate in completing these related courses? Do you often see students being, taking a course and then completing them? And so that's a question for everybody.
That's an interesting question in this time of pandemic with COVID-19. Kind of ravaging our classrooms and forcing us online 100%, especially in our industry or in our sector. We have lots of labs that are required really to be in person. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how we approach that problem this year in my work plan update. But you know, we've had success. Many students that we thought were not going to be able to complete because they weren't able to get into the labs were able to complete because they were able to go to virtual reality labs that were provided through a grant provided by the regional directors and multiple colleges, including College of the Desert and Bruce Noble up in the LA area and Saddleback, providing funding to allow all of our ECU faculty access to what's called the skill mill. And they were able to enroll all their students at no cost to get them through their programs. So it was very, very helpful for our faculty. I can't tell you what the exact number of success rate was, but we did have graduates and we did have students continuing on through their program.
Do you see that that offering of a virtual reality lab continuing even after we get past the pandemic? John?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay,
Yeah.
you froze. I didn't hear your question.
Oh, so I was just curious, those virtual reality labs that you mentioned, do you see that as an offering that will continue even after we get over the pandemic or move on?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
what's really exciting about this, I mean, if you look back and want to take anything positive out of this whole pandemic situation, is that we got 100% of our courses online, and we were able to add those labs that are vital to online courses where they can still do the entire course online, in fact, an entire program online with the virtual reality portion, and then come in. I don't believe that you can graduate a student without actually having that valid hands-on test at some point. So I believe that a student could go through the entire program, finish it, and then come into a lab and do the hands-on validation, so to speak, where they could then be signed off as, yes, he can do the work and he's ready to be employed.
GP, do you have anything else to add in terms of student success rates as it relates to completing these courses or programs?
So at the UCI, we have hybrid models. So basically, this is really the way we think about future educations. And through the online education, you can record all the lectures. And, you know, some of the students, they may not be able to get all the idea, all the knowledge at the lecture. So they can go back to watch the recorded video prior one. At the same time, faculty will have a time to have a more individualized instructions. And at the UCI, in the laboratory, we have about 25% occupancy rate. So this hybrid mode, they can come in to do some of the lab at a certain time. So they still have exposure to do the hands-on laboratory work. So I think this is, there is a hybrid mode after we reopen and students can come back to the classroom, but they still can go back to watch some of prior recorded videos. Enhanced learning, I think this is really good thing for us.
Oscar, what about at OCC?
Yeah, let me go ahead and answer your initial question was on success rates.
Yeah.
Most of the courses that we have at OCC are evening and weekend courses. So I think that contributes to the fact that we have a very, very high success rate. Some of our weekend classes, it's not unusual to have 95, 98%. I've seen 100% in several of the weekend classes. If I had to average them out, maybe high 80s, 80, 85%, generally speaking, is the success rate that we've had there at the college. Now with the whole COVID situation, we did get most of our lecture classes, building codes, estimating, management, all those types of courses are now being done online. The other courses that have a lab, meaning concrete, masonry, plumbing, electrical, what we've done with that, we have done the lecture portion of that online, and we're still meeting on site, you know, with smaller groups of individuals to actually get their hands-on performance exams. hands-on installations. But going forward, I was actually at a meeting yesterday. There are certain portions of our program that are actually working very well remotely. Our lecture-only classes, we've had students that are now taking classes that live out of the area where otherwise they would not be able to participate, in our classes if they're all on campus. So going forward, we are looking at keeping some of the courses or offer certain sections online and even do some hybrids where a good portion of it will be online, but they will still have to come to campus to perform their labs.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Thank you. That's great to hear about how our classrooms have pivoted during this stay-at-home pandemic. The next question is along the same lines: is how are those courses benefiting students applying for careers in these different sectors? So from the training, what's the bridge to actually getting jobs in the industry? Let's start with Oscar this time.
Okay. Well, as I don't want to repeat everything, but like as I had already said, a lot of now basically in California, if you work for an electrical contractor, you need to be certified. Otherwise, you essentially don't have a job. Okay. So we have a lot of people that are already in the industry that are coming in to get recertified. And then we have a lot of students that, young, new students, new to construction, that are seeking us out because there again, we are an approved electrical facility where they can come and get their electrical certification. Okay. And as far, there's a lot of companies, there's a lot of work out there in the industry, which is a little odd when I hear somebody say they can't get a job, I get regular emails from different contractors that are looking for employees. So we do have an internship academy here at Orange Coast College. The way that works, students can actually receive a certain amount of college credit if they go out and get a job or become an intern. So we are placing several individuals with a lot of different companies out there.
Okay. GP or John, do you have anything else to add?
John,
Go ahead, GP.
you go ahead, John.
Yeah, okay. So, Oscar kind of alluded to it. Internships, any type of work-based learning that we can provide for our students is extremely valuable because you're putting them in front of an employer. They're getting to demonstrate their skills. They're learning new soft skills, which is vital. I mean, we try to teach soft skills. And really, if you talk to our employers, the first thing they're going to tell you is they need the soft skills, the employability skills. They need to know how to talk to a customer, how to work with others, how to troubleshoot, how to do different things. And it's not really the technical skills. They feel very confident that they have the technical skills coming out of the community college. But in order for our students to gain that or really change their behavior from being a student to being an employee, it takes that work experience, on the job, real work experience, because we can teach it in the classroom, and we do teach it in the classroom. We have them doing group projects. We have them doing all types of they're doing PowerPoint presentations, and they're using Excel, and they're doing all this different stuff that would be on the job type work, but there's no skin in the game for them. There's no repercussions if they don't do it right, other than a grade, okay? So I don't know that they'd take it as serious as they would on the job. And this is just my personal opinion, but I believe and I have seen that when students get that real world training, that work-based learning on the job, it changes their behavior. It turns them into an employable person versus a student that wants a job that has no experience.
That's so true. And that's so true in so many different types of industries and job functions. GP, do you have anything else to add?
I think it's because most of our students are looking for a job is more like an engineer job, right? So it's a technician job. And I think their successful rate is high, but the current trend in industry, probably related to your next question, is is about digitization of the industry, moving into virtual space, digital twin, and with all the data, AI, And, and company interview employee, this is what they are looking for, who ability to really adapt to the change in this century. It's not just a physical device, it's a really cyber physical device and ability to analyze that data and to extract the intelligence out of it, provide the insight so we can do preventive maintenance of the equipment and so on, and to really have a dynamic control of your device so you can save more energy and more efficient and so on. So it's a very different landscape out there shaping the.
Yeah, and GP, you got a little bit ahead of ourselves with the next question, but I just wanted to make a quick comment that those soft skills, in addition to the technical, knowledge, is so important. And at Southern California Edison, one of the things that we recently implemented across the company is every new job applicant will have to take a work style assessment. And so that work style assessment, it's not something you can necessarily study for. Right? It's really a question. The questions are along the lines of what your preferences, how you respond to certain things. And that's something that's very important for all students and for, the future workforce to really think about how you work as a part of a team. And so those soft skills are just as important.
Yeah. I think to answer that question, this is a quite unique feature at the UCI. We focus a lot on interdisciplinary work. So the courses require multiple disciplines of a student to join in as a team, from science, from humanity, from engineering, from computer science, right? So they work together in solving a problem. So they will do the cross training. Yeah, skill is so critical, and because when you try to present your idea, the audience is not engineer, it's a general public, right? So I think that is a typical training we do provide to our students all the time.
Yeah, that continuous learning is so important, even after someone gets that job, being able to pivot and take on new responsibilities and being able to adapt, that's really important. That's what this next question is about, is how are college courses adapting to the updates or new trends to meet industry requirements? So I'm going to open it up to three of you. Anybody go ahead and take the question.
Okay, I'll go ahead and answer that for you. It's very important to have staff that, in my opinion, that is still very active in the industry. So when we hire adjuncts, for example, we have building inspectors that are still active in the industry. One of our adjuncts is the current building official for the city of Laguna. So we get to discuss all the current requirements. Now here in California, there are a lot of requirements for new construction to be solar. We have to incorporate that. And so we're getting additional requirements. We've expanded our course offerings where we have a couple of photovoltaic courses. We have some home automation as well. So there again, I just think it's important to have advisories and members that are still very active in the industry, and just to update our classes to meet all these current code requirements.
Anybody else, John?
Apprenticeship is the pinnacle of work-based learning, and one of the things that we're doing that's very innovative this year, and I'm not going to take anything away from Miriam's presentation, but she's going to tell everybody about a new program and then I will discuss later on how we have overlaid that program on an existing certificate, an automation certificate. And so when students come into that program, they can get an earn and learn pathway as well as that certificate at the same time. So I won't say any more about it, but that is something that we're working towards, to have more apprenticeship in the region and all different types of work-based learning.
So at the UCI, we are really lucky. We are currently involved in 3 major Department of Energy future manufacturing institutes. Right? So one is related to clean energy, smart manufacturing innovation. The second one is cyber secure manufacturing. The third one is remake, is recycle reduce waste, embody energy, and so on. So we, within those three institutes, you can imagine hundreds of companies involved, right? So it really opened the channel for us to learn about the current trend and the need in the industry, in different vertical industry. So, and we are also very lucky with the support from SoCal Edison, for LADWP, from SDG&E, and so on. They are a member of our California Parkville Research Centers. So we focus on emerging tech involved in CECs and CPUC, and working with a very big ecosystem, try to really understand the current trend and what California is driving at in 2045 for the zero carbon society. So what are the solutions and how we should transform the way we teach our students? Right? At the same time, the industry is telling us data, 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 right? So, and how do we really equip our students with that kind of skill set, at the same time, soft skill, right? So communication. So that's the team setting, training the future students.
Yeah, no, it's a very exciting time for students to get into the field. You know, when they say there's a clean energy future, there very much is. You know, and I just will share really quickly about my background. I am not, I don't have a technical background. I majored in international relations. Nothing related to this field at all, but I've been working
very critical.
So, but, you know, I've been working at Edison for 8 years in public affairs. So my job day to day is really working with our local government, trying to resolve issues so that we can get work done at the local community level. But really, there's so much, it's an exciting time to join the field. So for all the teachers who are listening, I mean, I would really just encourage you to encourage your students to really think about careers and in the clean energy industry. And it's not just the technical. I mean, today we're focusing on kind of, you know, construction and manufacturing, but there's so many other types of jobs, whether it's accounting or public affairs or, you know, administrative assistance or project management. I just feel like this is an industry that's growing. I'll lead to the next question because, you know, we talked a little bit about earlier about the hybrid and, you know, how the classes have pivoted. So I'm going to jump over that and ask the question around, you know, is the course load heavier than expected for some students? I mean, I'm sure you have very diverse students. And so if you can talk a little bit about that, of how students are managing the course load. And we'll start with Oscar, because I can see you nodding.
Yeah, like you said, it seems to be diverse, okay? We've had some students that do very well, that maybe I want to say probably were excellent students in high school and so forth, and continue that way. Unfortunately, we have a certain percentage of students that, I hate to say it this way, but I think you guys have all heard this. Some counselor told them, oh gosh, you know, you're not going to be a doctor, you're not going to be a lawyer, so why don't you go learn a trade? And so then they come into our trades and they sign up for a roof framing class, and we explain to them that they need to do a certain amount of math, a certain amount of geometry, you know, and so forth. And I see that some of the students sometimes struggle, you know, they're having a hard time with that. And then of course sometimes we suggest that they also consider taking a math class along with the construction course and so forth. And that, so we do have, I'm going to say maybe a small percentage, 15–20% of students that are struggling in that area, and would attribute that to, anyway, the course load being too much for them.
Oscar, do you see there's gender diversity? Is it, I mean, do you see more women going into taking these courses, or has it been primarily?
You know what, it's interesting. It can be sporadic. You know, I can have a class where I have, the typical class are about 22–23 people. I could have 6–7 females in a class, and then next semester I have none. And so it's a little odd. I want to say yes, but it doesn't always seem to work out, you know, sporadic for some odd reason.
Yeah, interesting. All right,
Yeah.
John?
Yeah, so what I bring with me from the Inland Empire, I was the regional or the deputy sector navigator for energy construction utilities there, and we built a program called the Building and Energy Systems Professional. And one of the things that that program encapsulates is a flexible schedule for students so that they can take a full course load and be successful. And the way we did that is, of course, you have to have willing and able faculty, able to change their schedules around, teach night classes, day classes, weekend classes, like Oscar was talking about. But once you have those faculty in place and you take the courses and you turn them into 8-week courses, and they take 2 8-week courses a semester, they finish 4 classes in the 2 semesters, and then with 1 extra class in either winter or summer, they can get their all 5 courses completed. And what we found out with the BESP program is that you can take complementary courses, so ones that complement each other at the same time. So instead of a student having to take 5 courses over 16 weeks and try to keep everything together, they can take 2 at a time and focus, and they're complementary. And we found that the success rates doubled at College of the Desert anyway, where we initiated this program. So that's one idea that I'm bringing to the region. Hopefully we'll be able to get that rolling, but haven't started working on it yet. But that is the 8-week course and that flexible schedule, night, day, weekend, works very well.
Yeah. Thank you, John. Anything else to add, GP? And just for a time check, we have about 7 minutes left before the end of the panel. I want to ask at least 2 more questions. So go ahead.
Okay. I think I just add one comment, because some of the courses that we offer focus on team learning, and it is challenging for team learning, especially at the beginning. You need to have an ice-breaking event, allow them to really get acquainted with others. So I think that is something we need to work on so that they can be more effective in doing their own learning.
Thank you. So I'm going to ask, there's 2 more questions. I want to make sure that we get through to it. These 2 questions I think will be interesting for the teachers that are on the line. Are there companies that your college works with or that you suggest where students can complete apprenticeships, programs, or additional training? So what companies are you working with? Oscar?
Yes. In the past, obviously things are a little different right now because of the whole COVID situation, but in the past we had actually Lennar Builders actually came on campus and conducted interviews and actually hired a couple of our students, and as far as I know, they still worked for them, and so other than that, we have an internship academy, and where different companies can contact us. We put them there on the job board. When they do, in fact, recruit students, a mentor, myself or one of the other professors, has to verify that they are, in fact, working at that company. And so, so they're going to go ahead and get a certain amount of college credit for that as well.
John?
Yes, well, I'm excited to say that, again, I'm not going to take away Miriam's thunder, but we have 6 community colleges in the region that are working on an apprenticeship program, and that's all I'll say. I'll leave the rest to her.
Okay, thank you. GP, anything else?
I think it's our laboratory can be the place to taking some of the students to do internship, because we do have a lot of high-end equipments and doing different type of manufacturing or energy efficiency. And I think we need to reach out to your community and to invite them to learn about what is emerging and how we can really do cross-cutting training within the sectors.
Okay. All right. So last question, and this is really bringing it back to the student. What advice do you have for students who are interested in pursuing a career in energy, construction, and utilities? So let's start with John, since I love your background.
Get in now while the getting's good. I mean, there are so many job openings, really, and GP mentioned a little bit about the Internet of Things. There's billions of devices out there that are collecting data, and that data needs to be analyzed, and we need so many different areas to be filled in with our employers, whether that's data analysts for building operations, maintenance, industrial mechanics, automation. I mean, all of these areas are even now more important because of the pandemic, because factories are automating more now, or feel the urgency to automate. They're going to need technicians that can work on those machines. They're going to need data analysts that can work for building automation, for companies that have buildings that need to analyze the data and see how that building's running. Is it running efficiently? And if not, why? And that's what we're training our students to do now in the ECU sector. So I would say talk to your college counselor about the ECU sector, or call me, and I'll be happy to tell you about it.
All right. All right. Oscar?
Ditto. It kind of sounds very similar to what I tell my students, but what I wanted to add with that, sometimes when I get a student, they tell me they're interested in working in construction, but they haven't fine-tuned that area. If they want to be a plumber or if they want to be an electrician, you know, they don't know quite yet. So usually what I recommend to them is to take one of the courses where that are introductory, where we do multiple trades, where you might spend 2 weeks doing plumbing and 2 weeks doing electrical and so forth. And so hopefully they find the niche area that is ultimately going to interest them.
Thank you. Thank you. GP, good person.
Okay, so I think as a world, the future is we are all connected, right? So it's really about cyber-physical society we are living in. And I will encourage students, when you go to the community college, if you think that is the area you're interested in, and you can transfer to UCI, provided you have to meet some requirements, and also get exposure to a variety of skill set. I think as a soft skill set is very critical, even though we're in the cyber-physical space, and it's more critical than before, right? So in the cyberspace, and the eye contact is not there. So how do you really express your opinion and how to learn that? I think there's a lot of things students need to learn. And we welcome students to visit us, and we are working on the program, try to open up our lab, become living laboratory, allow students to experience a cyber-physical environment futures. And they learn how to do the clean energy, learn how to do fighting the climate change, learn how to design the future engineering solution technology so that we can provide holistic solution to our society. They can continue to upgrade their learning skill. So I think that's what we try to aim at.
Go ahead, John.
Tram, one more thing. You know, as the state continues to mandate cleaner buildings and cleaner energy, one of the things that students might be interested in is commissioning and building modeling and those areas where, because it's going to be required that a new building be commissioned. In other words, a person has to go and verify that the building is operating at peak efficiency, and we're training those students as well. So those are just areas that people would never find or probably not even understand when they see a job posting. What's a building commissioner? You know, and how do I learn about that? So yes, those are being taught at our community colleges, and we just want to get the word out about ECU.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, GP. Thank you, John. Thank you, Oscar. And I'll just close by saying something that Oscar mentioned earlier when he said that he's surprised that people can't find work. There is work out there. The future is clean, and I work more in the policy space. And you know, John, I appreciate you saying the state is mandating a lot of these policy changes. And what it means is there's going to be a lot of jobs in the clean energy future. And so, and we'll just close on, you know, what John said. Get in now. It's important to get in now and get that training and learning. And then GP saying that we are connected. And so, even though I'm not in the industry of the trades, but I'm also someone that works with a lot of folks in the trades. And so that's so important that we make sure that our young people not only learn the technical aspect of a future job, but also learning how to be part of a team and really honing in on those soft skills. So thank you very much. Let's get off of mute really quickly and give a round of applause to our panel. Thank you. Thank you. So back to Aurea.
Yes, thank you all so much,
Yeah.
college panel and John Caffrey. Thank you for all the updates. Welcome, Miriam. I'll let you introduce yourself and share your screen when you're ready. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Miriam Farnbauer. I hope everyone can see my screen that I'm sharing with you. Thank you so much for having me. I work for the so-called Skills Initiative of the German government. So why would the German government implement apprenticeship programs in the United States? The Skills Initiative is an initiative of the German Foreign Ministry, and they want to convene American and German businesses, as well as education and training providers on local levels in order to develop innovative training programs that are based on the German apprenticeship model. And DIAC is one of those key intermediaries that work with the German Foreign Ministry. And I want to tell you a little bit of the background why the Skills Initiative is happening in the United States. It all goes back to the Marshall Plan, when America helped Germany get back on their feet. And in the 90s, Germany decided to pay America back through various programs that strengthen the transatlantic dialogue, the transatlantic exchange, and foster partnerships. And one of those initiatives is the Skills Initiative that aims to promote apprenticeship programs. So the great part is that we now have an official international training collaboration between Germany and the US. And both countries signed a joint declaration of intent back in 2015. The Departments of Commerce, Education and Labor, as well as the respective German departments, signed that declaration that states that we will share best practices when it comes to apprenticeship. And we renewed this declaration of intent in February 2020, just before the pandemic hit. So I'm glad that we could sign it before, and I'm really excited that we have this cooperation. So basically what we try to do is bring key elements of the German model to the States, but not just bring a model here, but to work with you to create partnerships. And that's really our mission, is to build networks and partnerships in order to build and strengthen a competitive workforce for the region, in that case for Orange County. And we've been talking to the 6 community colleges: Santiago Canyon College, Irvine Valley College, Saddleback, Fullerton, Cypress, and Orange Coast, as well as with some colleges in the LA region. And we realized that the Automation Fundamental Certificate Program that the Orange County colleges have align really nicely with a Mechatronics apprenticeship program that we developed with a company called Festo Automation. And I will tell you more about this in a little while. But yeah, what I want to emphasize here is that it's really important to us to build those partnerships with programs that are already out there in order to help businesses in the region and in order to help the students to be competitive on the workforce and to really meet the region's needs when it comes to the industry needs. So before I'm going to explain a little bit more about the apprenticeship program that we have, I'm going to show you a little video that gives a nice overview of how it looks. Hope you can see the screen again.
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks.
This program is different than any other program that I've ever seen before. Every day I tell somebody that I'm in an apprenticeship, and I tell them what I'm doing, and they say, "What? That's amazing. I've never heard of that before."
So an apprentice is placed with a company and learns at a college
in theory, what they will later practice at their workplace.
You have classes, you have homework, you have labs, you work actually already at the company, what hired you into this program.
We are closing the gaps in such a way that at the end of the program, they are able to do, the activities that they should do in their positions. The traditional education, sometimes, the school is over here, the needs of the companies are over here, so this gap is very big.
When you go into work the next day, it's like you already know it, you just went over it, and you feel more confident in your abilities. What we are doing as DIAC is to set up a structure to train the workforce for the future and provide businesses with a highly skilled workforce.
DIAC and Festo Didactic have the same goal to bring German-style apprenticeships to America and build a standard through the US, what is not available right now.
Apprenticeship is not only a training, it's really the start of a career. And once you're done with your apprenticeship and you work for either the company that you've been trained at, or you work at a different company, you can work in your field first, become a supervisor, and who knows, maybe even become the CEO at one point of this company. Apprenticeship has so many benefits for the students and for the employers that it's a win-win situation. Okay. So, as I said, we developed this apprenticeship program, which is called MapSquare. It stands for Mechatronics Apprenticeship Program Partners. Again, the emphasis on the partners, because we want to bring together the colleges that provide the related technical instruction, also high schools. We want to also introduce high schools to the program, and that students early on can see where their career can lead to and be exposed to programs like this, as well as bringing businesses in and create then this network that you need in order to do an apprenticeship program. So the MapSquare program basically combines the theory training, the related technical instruction, with the hands-on training. This is just an example here on this presentation how it can look like. So the in-company training here shows is happening 3 days in the week, and it is based on the in-company training standards. So Festo and DIAC develops with the companies together in-company training standards that align with the curriculum that the college teaches. And that's very important to have this alignment so that the student, learns in school what they can then apply right away at the on-the-job training in a real work environment. And that benefits not only the student, but obviously the company. And an apprentice is really hired from day one on and is an employee and takes over duties and tasks in the workplace and can contribute to the work process and to the production from day one on. And obviously, they get better and better. So that is a really great part of this program. Also very important to this program is that we have general education and soft skills training included. And this happens both at the colleges and in the company. So why should someone be part of the MapSquare program? Oh, I'm sorry. Basically, the high standards that we set in this program lead to an incredible outcome. The students that take part in this program, and it lasts 2 years, they receive a Mechatronics Technician Associate's degree from the local college. In addition, they receive NIMS credentials, industry certifications, and the German-American Commerce certification. That is an additional certification. It is also an industry certification with a very high standard and guarantees that the students will graduate very highly skilled and qualified. They also receive the Department of Labor certificate for registered apprenticeship. DIAC and Festo, we provide a lot of guidance and support throughout this program. We will help the companies and the colleges with the administration part when it comes to the Department of Labor. And we offer a train the trainer program, which ensures that the instructors receive the technical knowledge for the equipment that they need to teach the students and how to use the equipment, but also the soft skills on how you teach an apprentice, how you mentor them. So the mentorship aspect is a very important one, and we want to focus on that so that the students get the best training possible. Yeah, so just to summarize again, we help with the curriculum development for the businesses and the colleges. We provide training for the equipment and have the train the trainer workshop. Yeah. Just making sure with the time, it's okay. So I want to line out the benefits of the program, and I have mentioned them before, but what benefits does this program bring to a company? Well, you gain a highly competent employee, and this employee meets the needs the company has because the company took part in the development of the training standards. You train the apprentice from day on, you make sure they are trained in the way you need it. You build a loyalty throughout this program. It's a 2-year program, so at the end of it, you know, you just trained your own workforce, your in-house workforce. And that obviously reduces turnover costs and increases employee retention because the student sees that you as a company, you invest in him or her. And I think I forgot to mention at the beginning that this program comes to very little or no cost for the student because the company pays for the tuition for the student. And obviously the students get paid as they work for the company. So that's a great benefit for the students. In the long run, the company produces a high return on investment. And I already mentioned before that the company is part in defining company-based training content. The benefits for the student are that they earn a degree while they work and earn money. And on top of it, they get industry credentials. They gain occupational proficiency that is necessary for employment opportunities and growth. And they really unlock a professional career path with career advancement. Apprenticeship really is the start of a career. It's not only a training, it can offer many, many opportunities after. And you learn in a real work environment, which is obviously a great benefit. For the region, it means that it supports the growth of manufacturing companies because they get the support with the partnerships that we built, the network that we built. And it increases the available pool of trained and skilled workers. And as I said, the partnership opportunities are very important. So here I want to show you an outline of the hands-on training curriculum that Festo offers. I just let you read through it. I'm not going to read everything to you, but it includes industrial machine wiring and so on. Electrical drive, sensors. So it is a very comprehensive program and combines theory and practical training. And DIAC and Festo ensure the guidance throughout the program, maybe administrative processes or any other issues. We're really here to help, and it's all about the partnership and the network. So I thank you very much for the attention. I hope I did not miss anything. I'm more than happy to answer questions. I think I have 4 more minutes left before my time is over. So if anyone wants to ask some questions, happy to answer.
May I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Thank you for excellent presentation. I have a question is, Germany is pushing Industry 4.0. And so are you going to bring that kind of training to the associate degree students in the company. I think that is so important to the future of their career growth.
Yeah, so part of the Festo curriculum are those Industry 4.0 components. Yeah. And John, feel free to chime in because you've been exposed to the program in depth now, and we've been talking for a long time. So anything you want to add, please.
Yeah, so definitely Industry 4.0 is part of it. And what's really intriguing about this is that we have 6 colleges. They all have different components of industrial automation, whether it's robotics or PLC or building automation. I mean, we cover the plethora throughout the region. And all of it is tied into the MAP Square or aligned with the MAP Square program. We did a crosswalk. We ensured that all the different programs covered the needs of the apprenticeship for a student to complete. And then the gaps, where there were gaps, we are providing another avenue for students to go into shared courses at other colleges where they can fill those gaps in the Industry 4.0 area specifically. So yeah, we're covering that, and it's really quite exciting what's coming about. And I can't give you too much more because we're working on the proposal and the approvals right now with Irvine Valley College and the other partners.
I think there's one more question.
Typical automation is Industrial 3.0, right? And Industrial 4.0 has very heavily in the data side. So I was looking at this, how are you going to address that and provide that kind of a training to the future employee?
Miriam?
Sorry, can you say that again?
So my question is, John talked about the automation and different components. That is traditionally, we define that as automation control, PLC and so on. Those are Industrial 3.0. 4.0 is really about all the machines are connected as data-driven automation in not a static control sense, it's dynamic control. So the data analytic skill is very critical in the training. So I'm wondering how your program provide that elements of the training to the students.
So what I can tell you, GP, is we're hoping, and we haven't had this discussion with UCI yet or Cal State, but we want to turn this into a bachelor degree program where we start them on the path with Industry 3.0, moving into Industry 4.0 into their 4-year degree. So we'll be contacting you to discuss this and to
yes, there's a form of partnership.
Yes.
Deal.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, but in the 2-year associate degree program, there's only so far we can get. We definitely need to partner with universities. Yes.
And then Gerald had a question also, I believe.
Yeah.
So I teach engineering at the high school level, and I believe I heard you say that the MAP Square program is also anticipated to be available to maybe selective high school students. Is that correct?
Yeah, we want to expose high school students to the program. So once they have the high school diploma, they can enter the MAP Square program.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's important to us that we have those partnerships with the high schools and the colleges so that everyone is connected and it's easily to transfer.
Right, and we can set up a pipeline then, of course.
Right, correct.
Exactly, and I'm gonna get into my work plan, and that's part of it. So we'll discuss that in just a little bit, and then if you have more questions, feel free to ask.
So one more question. At least years ago, my understanding was that in Germany and in most European countries, you start an apprenticeship program as early as 6th grade. Is that still in place?
Not 6th grade. You are 16.
I'm sorry?
You are 16. 15 or 16 is the earliest age.
Hey, but don't you start tracking by 6th, 7th grade whether you're going to university or not? I believe that's what I remember, right?
Well, yeah, you remember that system correctly. Like in Germany, after 4th grade, students are kind of put into certain sections, and one leads more into the apprenticeship path, but it's not as set like this anymore.
As it used to be when I went through it. Okay, understand. Okay, so
Yeah.
my question is how, okay, so we don't have a pilot yet, right? John, you're still going for an MOU, or what do you, where
Right.
are you with this?
So this is all going to be tied through our Automation Fundamentals Certificate program, which is currently at 6 of the colleges. Not all of them have their approval from the chancellor's office yet, but they have the courses running. So the students will get their certificate by the time they finish. And what we want to do is take 2 of those fundamentals, at least 2 of those fundamentals courses, and make them dual enrollment courses at any of our willing high schools. So if you want to talk about it, I would love to connect you with your feeder college and that faculty champion to get those articulation agreements rolling.
Right, yeah, I think that would be OCC for me, and yes, I definitely would like to follow up on that. And then just one more quick one for you, Miriam. So this has been in place, the MAP Square program in place in Germany and other European EU countries?
Yeah, in Germany it's in place, but also in Ohio it has already been implemented.
Okay.
Since 2016.
Just one more, I promise this will be the last. Do you think that we're a little bit at a disadvantage with our students as far as their technical training level goes as compared to the Europeans? And then I'll stop talking for now.
Well, I wouldn't say that they are at a disadvantage. I'm just saying that, you know, in Germany, people are students are earlier exposed to those training options.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, as I said, there are great programs in place already, career pathway programs. So we just try to add on what we can as a value add.
So John is probably going to do a little bit of scaffolding and make sure that there are no gaps so that we can push off from a solid foundation.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and if the high schools which high school are you at, Gerald?
Estancia.
Estancia, okay. Yeah, we definitely want, and it's not limited to 2 courses. I mean, if you have juniors and seniors in your engineering academy that want to take an automation pathway, you know, we could have 4 courses and have them, you know, well through the program and into the apprenticeship by the time they graduate. So that's very exciting. I will get a hold of you and we will talk.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Well, all the amazing questions. I definitely want to thank Miriam for sharing this event and this opportunity with the educators. Now we're going to turn it over to the ECU Regional Director, John Caffrey. I'm going to ask if the other educators can please turn off your camera. We want to make sure that we highlight John while he is speaking. And then John, I'll go ahead and share my screen if you're ready.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I'm the Regional Director of Employer Engagement for Energy Construction and Utilities. And what I thought I'd do today is share my work plan for 2021. You know, a lot of you probably have never heard of me or never met me. Most of you have never met me, except for on Zoom, virtually. And that's obvious because I haven't been there for the whole year. Although I've been working behind the scenes and in lots of meetings. But let me tell you what's going on this year and next year. So what we've been talking about with MAP Square and the automation pathways to careers is really something that was designed to allow our students to obtain an automation fundamentals certification at any of our colleges that would articulate if they wanted to move to, let's say a student comes in to OCC and starts their industrial mechanics program, and then all of a sudden gets interested in robotics. Well, they can finish their automation certificate at OCC or even get halfway through it and decide, okay, I'm going to go over now to Saddleback College and because I want robotics, and they can pick it up where they left off. So we've aligned the certificate at the colleges so that students don't miss a step in their automation fundamentals and are able to build that career pathway in any direction that they want. And with 6 different pathways at 6 different colleges, it gives them a lot of opportunity. And we're hoping, and not just hoping, but we're already seeing increased enrollment in the program. We're seeing increased completion rates, and we're now tying in the experiential learning piece, which is Map Square, where they can earn and learn on the job while they're completing their certificate. And if they actually decide to enroll in the apprenticeship program, then they're also going to get their associate's degree, and they're going to earn 8 NIMS certifications along the way. So talk about a qualified individual. That person will have a job while they're going to school, and they'll have a job when they finish school. So the metrics are outstanding for our colleges, and we're really excited to bring this program to the region. The next work objective or work plan item that I have was, and I talked about it briefly before, was the virtual reality. When COVID-19 hit last year, we got together as regional directors and kind of brainstormed what can we do to help our students, because it was obvious that they weren't going to be able to graduate if they couldn't do their labs, and we were told they were not going to be able to do their labs. So we reached out to industry in the VR realm, and Interplay Learning stepped up to the bat, and they actually gave us free access for the first semester of 2020 for every student in California in the ECU sector to have access. I mean, this was outstanding. And then in August, funding through our regional grants and strong workforce provided us with an opportunity to actually extend that through the school year, and it continues on today. And in fact, in Orange County alone, we've had 185 students that completed, or at least completed their course or graduated using the VR in the classroom. So really excited about that outcome, and just happy that we were able to find a solution for our faculty. And Oscar, by the way, there are some construction components if you're interested at all. I know that construction is the most challenging of all for virtual reality. You cannot virtually run a skill saw. So
I will definitely follow up with you on that.
Yeah, but there are some areas that they can learn virtually in how to frame and how to do things like that. But the power tool, of course, they'd have to do in the lab. And then moving on, faculty professional development is another one of my objectives this year. We're going to have at least one Train the Trainer event. Hopefully that's a Map Square Train the Trainer for apprenticeship in that program, for our trainers to learn how to use the Festo equipment, or how to utilize the equipment existing in their labs currently to align with the Festo program. Festo has been a great partner, and DIAG is kind of the funding arm of that collaboration. But Festo has agreed to purchase back any equipment that is currently in the lab if they want to replace it with Festo equipment for the Map Square program. So they would purchase your old equipment and give you new equipment, which, or you would purchase new equipment. But at least you'll have some money from your old equipment. But that's just one professional development opportunity. Train the Trainer coming up. There will be another one of these advisories coming up in the fall, and along the way we may do some best practices. We may have some faculty and teacher networking to align curriculum with regard to dual enrollment or concurrent enrollment or articulation programs from high school to the colleges, because I am very, very interested in providing pathways in the ECU sector that are continuous pathways from high school into college to the job, or on to university and in the job as well. So very excited about the opportunities coming up there. And then also with the industry valued credentials accreditation. That is something that DIAG and Festo have provided. So the Map Square program, as soon as it is adopted by the college as an overlay into the automation fundamental certificate, they receive the accreditation right off the bat for NIMS. So that's very exciting, which means that we'll be able to proctor those exams right in the classroom. And those students will get those before they graduate. Next, are you up? Yeah, there we go. One more, Ari, I'm sorry. There we go, regional support. One of the things I do as a regional director is I write grants. So when I see a need in the ECU sector, I'll propose a program that I think will help our ECU faculty and students. And one of those things that I did last year was called the Employment Bridge Program. What Employment Bridge is, it's a not-for-credit training program that is funded through Strong Workforce, so it doesn't cost the student anything. It doesn't cost industry anything, but it's completely directed by industry. So we go out, we reach out to our ECU employers, whether it's machinist shops or electricians or whoever it is out there that is hiring, solar companies, and we ask them, what are your pain points? What is it that keeps you from hiring our students? And a good example was the gas company, Southern California Gas Company. They have a job opening that starts at $32 an hour, and it requires the students to have some gas appliance training, so it aligns very well with our HVAC students. But they need to know how to build a gas meter, and they weren't able to hire our students because they couldn't build a gas meter on day one. So we use the Employment Bridge funding and that program in conjunction with our contract education department, and we put together a program to teach them how to build a gas meter. The employer, the gas companies, provided all of the meters and the instructor to teach, and we put the students through it at no cost. And at the end, they were provided with a job interview. And if they passed through the job interview, they got the job, and they started at $32 an hour. So that's just an example of some of the things that we do as regional directors. We also look for state and federal grants that will benefit the Orange County region. One of those that we've been trying to find is the Tac Grant. Some of you may be familiar with that, the Trade Assistance Program from DOL. I ran that grant in the Inland Empire 4 years ago, and it sounds like it's coming back around again because of COVID, so that may be something that we're going to be looking towards for funding out all the equipment purchases, which is about $1.2 million for the MAP Square program. In addition to that, we've been working hard to help faculty convert courses where we can, providing funding, providing workshops, helping instructors learn how to teach online that have never done it before. It's a big leap, and we've been very successful. We've had a lot of faculty that are doing very well now teaching online, which is kind of exciting because now our courses can be expanded with enrollments because students who can't come to a typical classroom because they work or other family issues can now learn online. Next slide, all right. And then what we're doing today, the regional advisory. This is our first meeting for ECU that I've been involved with, and we're looking to expand on this idea. We're going to have these little breakout sessions. Those will morph into really informational sessions that also have outcomes that where we can build articulation agreements and MOUs for dual enrollment and things like that, networking high school teachers with college faculty and putting those people together with our folks, with our administration at the colleges in order to make those connections so that we kind of bust through the red tape. One thing that we didn't mention, and I failed to mention earlier, was the LMI for energy construction and utilities. And as you can see here, there are nearly 7,000 middle skills ECU sector job openings right now in the LAOC area. So if you were wondering, if we put these students through the training, are they going to get a job at the end? The answer is definitely yes, they will. Next slide. And then one thing that wasn't part of my actual original work plan was the water programs. And the reason why is because I hadn't met anybody when I first started, and I hadn't really talked to them about water programs, but I attended a meeting for WEA, which is the Water and Energy Education Alliance, which originated in LA at LAWP, I believe, or LAWD, and is now led by Tiffany Baca. And we have started working with the six of the South Orange County Water, or five of the South Orange County Water agencies. Ian from Molten Nagel approached me at one of the WEA meetings, oh gosh, back in, I think it was probably February of last year. And we had a quick discussion. Next thing you know, we were meeting. And now we've had some talks with our faculty at Santiago Canyon and with our faculty at Saddleback College. And we're talking about broadening the scope of our water program so that other students that may be on the academic side of the college, maybe as accountants or in other areas, maybe resource management, natural resource management, can find out that there are jobs that relate to water and that there's opportunity for them. So we've been trying to develop a short-term certificate between the two colleges where they can learn about water resource management and water conservation, as well as the technical side. So they kind of have a well-rounded but short 12 to 15 unit type certificate that's added on to their AS degree in whatever discipline they are in on the academic side, or our CTE students that maybe are in the water program as a technician over there at Santiago Canyon and have decided, you know what, I need a little more background about water resource, how it's used, why, you know, how it's conserved, and why it's important. And they can get that over at Saddleback. So that's pretty much all of what I'm doing this year. And if you have any questions, I'm open for that now.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Thank you. Excellent presentation. My question is for your VR training, online training courses. Who developed the content for you?
Which training courses?
Is a virtual reality training?
Oh, the virtual reality. Okay, so that's Interplay Learning is the company, and it's their skill mill. I can send you, GP, I can send you information so you can get access and take a look at it. But they used industry professionals to build out their curriculum. And it's very comprehensive. In fact, I'd love to hear from one of the faculty here today that's using it, if we have one, what they think about it and how they've used it in the classroom. Is there any? Well, no takers. But at any rate, I can put you in contact with Craig Carter. He is our Interplay connection, and he can get you access. He can tell you all about the program, how it works. I was very impressed with it 2 years ago when we first were introduced to the HVAC piece. And they have expanded it greatly since then. Now they have electronics, electrical, they have construction, and several other areas that faculty can either take just one piece of it out, or they can teach a whole module, or they can break it up however they like with their students with free access.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking this question at the UCI, we have video gaming discipline, and the student learning how to do arts and design for virtual reality. So I think it would be a very good cross training for those artists and to work with the industry discipline and see how to translate that kind of physical devices into virtual reality. I think it would be very fun to see.
Yeah, and you know,
cross-cutting learning.
Interplay has both 3D and 2D, and
yes,
boy, when you put on the goggles and look around a water treatment plant and can actually go up and turn the valves and do different things, it's pretty amazing. And watch the gauges change.
Yeah, we use ocular lenses or the HoloLenses.
Those work with Interplay. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Any other questions? Yes, Gerald. Oh, did I forget you, Gerald?
Oh, no, you can't forget me. Hey, John. So my understanding is that you have curriculum, and you have curriculum for the water treatment technician program, right? And you have one also for utilities and energy, or somewhere in between?
I sent a poster.
So we have, okay, so you're talking about the automation, right? Automation fundamentals? Yes. So Santiago College has the water technician curriculum that ties in with the Map Square program. Robotics is its Saddleback, and Terry, if I miss this up, you can jump in. Terry Schmidt is here. He is the program director for the Automation Fundamental Certificate for the region. And then we've got industrial mechanics at Orange Coast, and we've got building automation at Cypress, and Fullerton, I believe, is industrial mechanics as well. And am I catching all of those, Terry?
Oh, you're getting most of them. Yeah, so there's industrial electronics or in industrial manufacturing, IVC, Orange
and then
Coast.
the PLC.
And well, PLC is one of the courses in the Automation Fundamentals Certificate, and all the colleges have the PLC course.
Okay. Are you planning to maybe inaugurate some for the clean energy utility sector as well? Is that coming, or is there a reason you haven't looked at one of those yet? That happens to be my background. That's why I'm asking. So
it's up to the individual colleges if they want to pursue a particular program in that area. Then the fundamental certificate would feed into that same program.
Sure.
But then it'd be expanded by whatever college wants to also pursue that. The first
year would probably be fundamentals, and then you would probably
it would be a capstone. Yeah,
right.
It would be a capstone course. So
correct.
We can definitely talk about that, Gerald. I can get the LMI for that to find out if there's actually a need in the region. If there is, then we can approach the colleges, see if anyone's interested.
Right, because a lot of us high school folks are doing capstone projects with our kids already, and teamwork and all that good stuff. Project manager, project engineering, all of that is already being built into a culture here.
The great thing is that the Automation Fundamentals Certificate, they can get started on it. And as we're building a capstone that leads to your discipline as well.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Thank you so much, John and Terry, actually, for the information that you pitched in. I do want to let everybody know that we're coming to the start of our break for the first session of the advisory board. We ask all of you to not log off because we have you set for the breakout rooms that you're set to go to based on your registrations. And we will come back in 10 minutes. So just have your cameras off and your computers muted and enjoy your little water and breather break, and we'll see you guys in 10 minutes. Thank you so much.
Right.
Email and a password of your own choosing. If you already have an account set up for another community for Vital Links virtual programs, you can just use your same login. Once you are logged in, you will be asked to put in an access code, which Ari has also put in the chat for you guys. And once you have entered the community, this will be the page that you will see. Within this page, we have a variety of information for you guys, including the calendar, which will have all of our advisory boards. So for today, it is the Energy Construction Utilities Advisory Board, and the live link to enter is here in case you need it. And in the future, this will switch to say view recording. And so if you click this, you will view the recording of this entire session right in the app or right in the community. And if you continue on, you will see our next one will be Tuesday, coming up for the medical office, front and back office advisory board. Another great resource within this is a Program Finder. So Program Finder is a free resource for all K-12 and college and industries to use in Orange County. We really recommend it because, especially for industry, you can see the different programs in Orange County. within the high school and colleges. And so you can see the types of students that you will be getting. And then for the K-12s, you can see the colleges that your students can go to. For the colleges, you can see both the places where your students can go in the future and the prospective students that you will be getting. So all the links are directly in here. If you click on the link, it'll take you directly to the Program Finder website, where you will be able to navigate and search for specific types of programs. We also have the tabs for each specific breakout. We have the ECU breakout here for you guys today that I want to highlight. Within the first tab, we have the general information, including the PowerPoints, the panel questions, and the agenda for today's session. And then within each of the breakouts, you can go in and you will be able to see the list of businesses participating and each business's industry panel form and bios from the representatives that are joining us today. This is critical information that you can go ahead and open and to see all the different entry-level positions and types of skills required within a certain position for your future, for the students that you have. And so this will be something that you can use to follow along with the questions that we have in our industry panel section or sessions. And you can ask follow-up questions as you need in the breakout session.
Thank you, Netta, so much. Teachers again, and advisors as well, if you would like to join the VitaLink app, please use the web link provided in the chat along with the access code. And now I am going to open the breakout rooms. Does someone have a question? No worries. Now I'm going to open the breakout rooms. We're starting at 2:40, so we will end at 2:40. For the moderators and advisors, I will be sending notifications in the message blast. I'll let you know when there's 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and 5 minutes remaining. And we will end right at 2:40 for the breakout rooms. You will each have a VitaLink team member in your breakout room. You should see a join button that allows you to join the breakout rooms. Go ahead and click those now.
VitaLink, is that the staff member?
Oh, sorry.
No, that's right. So it will be Gabe Torres. And Gabe, you can turn your screen on if you'd like. Gabe is one of our newest VitaLink members, but he will be helping you all in the chat. And if you have any questions, Tammy will be the lead moderator and I'll let her take over from here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's nice to see everybody on the screen. So we have an hour and I think